Hail and well met. Welcome to episode of the Westgate Irregulars campaign. I am Eric Scott B, the DM of everything the Dungeon Scrawlers do, except the things that I'm not the DM for. This is the mod game, the Irregular Irregulars. Not the regular Irregulars, but the Irregular Irregulars, the mod squad. Several of these people appear to be strangers, but they are not strangers, for they have been with us since the beginning or near enough. So before I get to introducing them, I am going to do what Aaron usually does and talk about our sponsor, that is Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms, a strategy game that unites iconic Dungeons & Dragons characters from novels, campaigns, and popular shows into one epic adventure, including her characters Frida and Havilar from the Brimstone Angels novels. Also, their avatars are really adorable. You should go check it out. The game is available for PC and Mac on Steam and Web, Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, iPad, iPhone, and all Android devices. All things that go beep, boop, 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 boop. It's a fun game. For more information, check out idlechampions.com. There's a link in the doobly-doo down below. And you can type in some kind of code to get a free chest. I'm sure the actual regular irregulars who are doing mods for this episode will point you to the right code to type in, because I have forgotten and I am running out of air, and we're going to go with Allie. So take it away, Allie.
Hello, everybody. I am Alexander Pitchford, or Allie, or Shae Darksong when you catch me in the chat normally. I am a writer and game designer with a short story that will be coming out in an anthology called Bridge to Elsewhere, which was recently fully funded on Kickstarter.
Hey!
So that's fantastic. I will be playing, as ever, Shae Darksong, the right hand of Lady Illyra Nathlin, and Chaos Goblin that lives in the basement, consummate spy. You know how it goes.
Nice. And on that note, go for it, Doug.
Okay. I am Doug Meyer. I do Meyer's Magical Market, which is a small D&D themed Ren Fair shop and a number of Midwestern, right now, Ren Fairs and such. First year, and it's doing great. I also do writing when I can. I am the person behind a few of the Curse of Strahd parody accounts. I won't say which ones. That's a secret.
Oh, so it's you. All right. All right.
Yeah, it could be me. Don't know that. So, yeah, that's about it. I've been playing D&D for about 40 years. I've been following the Dungeon Scrawlers since the very first episode. Became a mod last year, and it's been a joy.
Awesome. Kendra.
Hi, I'm Kendra Lawrence, Seldrine801 on Twitch. I have self-published 2 novels. They're YA fantasy, Rising Star and Falling Star, and they are available on Amazon. There are 2 editions of Rising Star because I republished it. Same content, but if you want a lower price, go for the one with the moon on the cover. I do want to give a quick disclaimer. I have been a Forgotten Realms fan for many years. I also enjoy Critical Role, so I've been in the D&D community for a while, but I've only actually played the game a few times, and that was many years ago, so I will doubtless be asking questions, especially if there's combat, so bear with me, audience and everyone. I will do my best to keep it running smoothly, but I will probably be asking questions. I came to this stream. I knew Eric and Aaron from Facebook, and Aaron reached out to me asking if I wanted to mod, and I was quite flattered and said yes. So here I am.
Awesome.
And my character.
Yep. Yes.
I am playing Lathian Trandinor. He is an elf because I have to be on brand with this. Yep. He is an elven cleric of Corellon. Branding. On the cusp of elven adulthood, so he's nearing his first century, and he's seeking to serve his god, but also have an adventure, and he somehow wound up in Westgate.
Excellent. And last but not least, we have Joel.
Hello, everybody. I'm Joel Everett. I mod as Rumpus Imperator. I joined the stream toward the beginning of the second season, and I became a mod a couple of months ago. Tonight, I will be playing Rhombus Occam. He got his initial training in the military in Flan. Grew up lower class there as a sapper, and so he is an alchemist. And since after he left, he spent some time with the Walkenar, but he decided that his true love was alchemy, and he has come to Westgate recently.
Awesome.
And what I forgot to say on mine is the character I'm playing is going to be Simeon Ubelur. He is the accountant that Artemisian Group hired a few months back. So July, I think. Yeah.
Excellent. All right. Well, so here we go. The first thing that happens is that Shae awakens from a nightmare in which she witnessed the end of the world, and yet somehow she is still here and the world is still here. Her body still feels like itself. The bed still feels like the bed, although it is empty, unfortunately. You're back in the Purple Lady in your normal quarters. There is a note beside you, however.
Oh, well.
One that smells of Ilra's perfume.
I'll kind of take a moment to kind of recover my wits. That kind of dream is definitely harder to wake up from. And then pick up and unfold the note.
All right. The note says, "Sweetling, I have been called away on business, but there is something pressing that requires some attention. The Irregulars have been gone for some time, and I need people to do tasks in the meantime. I was hoping that you could lead a few adventurers I have commissioned in a fairly simple quest. You will find them in the common room."
Oh.
And then it gives details about where to go and what you're looking for. And she says, "Your contact will give you more information. I believe you know him. You will find him in the common room as well."
Sure.
Yes, I couldn't just tell you everything. That wouldn't be as fun, would it?
She'll sigh, but there's a ghost of a smile because she's right. It wouldn't be as fun. And she'll kind of carefully fold the note back up and set that aside, and then she'll get ready, get her gear together, and head down toward the common room.
Excellent. All right. Down in the common room, the Purple Lady is primarily a nighttime establishment. People come and party and dance and drink the night away. And then in the morning, there are only those folk who have not managed to stagger home after the festivities, sleeping off the night's revelry, and certain adventurers who have been hired for a task. Shae, you come down the stairs, you see only three new adventurers. They give you the immediate feeling of adventurers. They seem to be ready to venture forth and make their fortunes in their names. And one of them is also an accountant who you have met before.
Ah, yes.
So, why don't the three of you please describe what you look like? Starting with Doug, I think.
Yeah, okay. He is a halfling, short for a halfling, actually, which is saying a lot. On the younger side, but yet a little bit older, kind of hard to place how old he is. He is reddish hair that's going to a little bit of gray. It is balding and a comb over, so that's a good look for him. Fairly well dressed. Does not seem to look like the type that would go adventuring at all.
Oh, how little he knows of the fate about to befall him. Yes, Simeon has come here on an urgent summons from Lady Nathalin, who has matters of commerce to discuss with him. And he has found that she is not here. Instead, there is her right-hand woman, Shae, who looks like she just woke up from a terrible nightmare.
Hello, Miss Darksong. How are you doing today? You doing okay?
I'm waking up. Simeon.
Yeah, it's okay. Here? We didn't wait very long. Maybe like a half hour, 45 minutes. We're doing okay. I received a message. I was already looking for Mistress Artemisia's had me looking into some things, and Mistress Nathalin said that I should come here and look into some things.
Shae seems to be totally blank. Like she has no idea what you're talking about.
Bemused.
Right,
like her
yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, her like she's still like her the hauberk of her leather armor is still like half undone. She's just like, what?
Well, you see, we have these problems here, like these bills that I've been getting at the, they seem like they might be for the irregulars as a whole instead of being for, Mrs. Artemisia herself, and I'm trying to figure out, who gave her the jewel-studded collar, and then who returned it and got it instead of a dog collar, got a cat collar. I'm trying to figure out, exactly what happened with that. I mean, she doesn't seem like the type that would, she doesn't have a dog that I know of. So, why would she need a jeweled dog collar and the cat collar? I see that on her chest, but I just don't know where all this came from. The accounting, we have to keep track of all these things. Are you okay? You're getting a little flushed looking.
It's way too early for this. She says, having no earthly idea what time it actually is.
So yes, the halfling produces a jeweled collar that seems to be for some sort of animal. It has arrived, it apparently arrived in an envelope and said, there was a note that said, for services rendered, but it didn't have a return address and it wasn't signed, which is just terrible for bookkeeping reasons.
How am I supposed to know what is this an asset? Is this a liability? How am I supposed to put it down? How do I keep track of all these things? I mean, if we need to liquidate, how are we going to do that? Is there taxes due on it?
I'm like surreptitiously trying to peer over your shoulder without looking like I'm peering over your shoulder because I want to see.
So yes, Shae, there's this this elf peering over the halfling's shoulder. Tell us what Lathion looks like.
So he's on the cusp of adulthood, so he just has the slightest bit of elven baby fat left on his face. He's still quite handsome. He has long blonde hair, sky blue eyes, very elven in appearance. He is wearing adventurer's garb, which is slightly worn but nonetheless clean. And he is wearing a sky blue cloak. And he has the pendant of a crescent moon around his neck. And he's just kind of like trying to see what the halfling is holding, but not like being too obtrusive about it. He's also kind of eyeing Shae a little suspiciously.
Yes. Well, for those that aren't familiar with Shae, Shae is also an elf, but appears to have very kind of ash-colored, dusky skin. Kind of denotes some measure of drow ancestry. Very silver hair. Her eyes are unusual for her variety of elf, notably that they are kind of a molten gold color. And her garments currently are a fairly nice set of leather armor, a few bit of fox motif around bits of it that she is presently like fumbling trying to finish closing up because she's still trying to wake up. Can I help you?
I don't know. You're not who I was expecting. Is the lady home?
No, not at present. She's out. Lady Nathalin has had some business to attend to. I've been asked to take care of things in her stead for the moment.
Oh. Okay,
Shae.
then.
Shae
Lothian
Darksong.
Trendanor. Pleasure.
Rhombus, you can hear this conversation going on. This woman has said that she is representing the lady who invited you here.
Well met then, Miss Darksong. I am Rhombus Occam, and Rhombus is dressed very conservatively in white shirt, dark vest, dark pants, darkish gray, but looks, maybe a upper level craftsman level of clothing, and he has a bag on his belt, and otherwise appears to be unequipped.
Uh-huh.
I take it you're the adventurers I was supposed to attend to today?
Is that why we're here?
That they are.
I was
comes the
told to come
voice
here.
from the bar.
Ah!
And you see a small, many times cloaked and wrapped in scarves figure perched atop the bar. That they are.
Coup?
Oh, you remember me. Excellent. Excellent. I knew you would.
How could
obviously.
I forget you?
Ah, wow, that's so flattering. Yes.
Okay.
I have come here to direct your efforts in a small quest for the lady. I am doing her a favor, and in return, she's doing me a favor. So okay, it's clearly a gnome, all right? You can see his nose poking out, but he's wrapped in scarves and veils, and just looks like a pile of rags. He just hops off the bar onto one of the stools and scampers over toward you. Simeon, he's maybe around the same height as you, maybe a little bit taller, since you said you were short for a halfling. Okay. And he says, yes, I am Ku, indeed. It's not my real name, but it will suffice for the moment. I have come to give you this. And he holds up this paper, which appears to be a map.
She'll reach out to take it.
He looks at Shae very, very piercingly, like appraising her. Make an insight check.
Sure. Insight. Apparently I did really well. Rolled a nat 20, so 28.
Okay. Yeah, he seems really suspicious of you for some reason. I mean, it is Ku, so, suspicion is one of these things. But, extra suspicious of you. He says, you don't seem yourself, Shae Darksong. Is something the matter?
I had a nightmare. Well, I fought my own shadow recently. That was a thing. Take your pick.
Yes, that scans. That scans. Anyway, here's the map. Shows you the map. He says, I came into possession of this map. Let's not talk about exactly where, but it points to the hiding place of the Cormeral treasure. I believe, he points at Simeon, I believe the note that the Lady Nathalon sent you mentioned something about balancing the books, did it not?
Absolutely. I'm all about trying to balance those books and see where exactly these resources are going to come from.
Exactly. This cave, he points to the map. He says, this is how the Lady Nathalon likes to balance her books.
This sounds just perfectly fine. I will be in my office then, and as soon as you all retrieve it, you can come.
No.
But
unfortunately, the Irregulars are out of town, and ordinarily they would be the ones to do this. And
is everyone out of town?
Yes.
All the ones who matter in this case.
I'm gonna have to check my contract. I don't believe I had anything in my contract.
Thanks, Q.
Entering.
Let me help you with that. He hands you another paper.
This is going to be one of those things, okay? I'm sorry, I'll go get my tools. And he goes off into a side room.
Yes. Make sure you are prepared.
Like I suppose I can take care of everything. I mean, as long as it's not dangerous or anything, I'll be perfectly fine, I think. But
dangerous?
I guess
No,
as
I'm
long as
sure
it's
it
only
won't be
going and
dangerous.
retrieving.
Shae will be watching you and making sure that you come to no harm.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Shae is a seasoned adventurer.
Yes, it's
Very well
good, very good.
seasoned. Very tasty, I've heard.
I don't exactly know what you mean about that.
I'm not entirely sure
She
what
gives-
I meant by that either.
Huh.
She like just gives him this almost like, don't go there, Koo.
Well then, I shall leave you to it. Shae, please see that they don't get killed. That's not me saying that. That's Lady Nathlin saying that.
What exactly?
Okay, so Rhombus comes back out now. He is now wearing studded leather armor in a dark gray, and now has a full backpack that came from somewhere, and has a knife on his hip. And he also has crossed bandoliers full of vials and jars and such.
Is there something we need to know? About
I believe I've told you everything you need to know. What would you like to know?
what is
Be very
going
careful
on?
because what you say says a lot about you.
What
He hops up on a
exactly?
table, so he's at eye level, more or less.
What exactly is the point of all this?
Coin, of course. And secrets. He looks at Shae sidelong.
Whose secrets?
Many secrets. Mostly hers.
I was sent here to unravel this lady's secrets.
Wait, hers? Who is hers? Is that Shae or Illyra? Or someone else?
Ooh,
I
good
wonder.
question.
It is a good question.
These days, how many of them are one and the same?
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah. It's good to see you again, Shae.
Will
good to
you
see you
be coming
too.
with us, Master
you.
Koo?
A few times in as many days. It's amazing. Anyway, I suspect you won't need to have me with you. You have Shae. She'll protect you. I have things to do.
So I would actually like to look at the map while he's still talking and see if there's anything that jumps out as, hey, we should ask about that.
Okay. So it, when you were approaching Westgate, you saw that there was a ruined castle not too far to the northwest of the city, amongst rocks and crags, and it had a view of the bay. You could see it from the ship you were on, for say. The map is pointing to a cave in those mountains near the ruined castle. And there appears to be kind of a narrow ledge walkway that you would need to follow to get to the cave entrance. But that it is, and there's a note that says that it's not hidden exactly, but it's concealed. It's hard to find. And the map isn't very specific after that. You see little scrawled notes in a very, very small slanted hand, which Shae, you recognize as Koo's handwriting, that says, "Steps, Bridge, Pit."
informative.
Yeah, Koo, could you please explain what these mean? Steps, bridges, and pits? Have you been there?
Do you not speak the common tongue? Steps, bridges, and pits. He hops down off the table.
Okay, I kind of asked for that.
Oh no.
I haven't been there. Why would I be there? If I were there, this treasure would already be in our pockets.
Do you know who made these notes?
I made these notes.
And yet you're claiming not to know.
Interesting, isn't it?
I mean, writing on a map doesn't require you to have been present in the location.
Do
Always a
you
sharp
know
one.
Do you know someone who went there then?
Yes.
Who?
That is for me to nose and you to discover.
No, that sounds like a hint. It was Sturge, wasn't it? Sturge,
Remind me.
Talk about the nose.
Who is Sturge?
Big nose.
One of the
actor.
Hard to
I've
miss.
heard of him.
You've never heard
one
of
of
the
the
Great Crab
one of the
Year?
Oh, his accounts are such a mess. It's you can never tell exactly what he's spending things on. He makes little notes about things, and it's just driving me up the wall.
Well, if I take up any more of your time, you won't have enough time to get into the bridges and pits. So, good luck. And then he disappears in a poof of mist.
I hate it when he does that.
Bridges and Pits sounds like a less than savory inn title.
Shae will look at the map. So does she recognize the location? Does like the castle specifically?
Well, you do recognize the castle. You have been to the Cormeral Castle multiple times in the past because you spend a lot of your time following around the Irregulars, and they had been there. The last time they were there, you left following Artemisia, and you're not sure exactly what happened, but there was a fire at the castle, and most of the Merchant Council was slain.
Right. That's true. That happened.
And now that castle is haunted and in ruins.
Yeah. Was that not the castle?
Blasted ruin.
Was that not the castle in my dream?
It was the castle in your dream. In fact, you were standing in and amongst the ruins as the world unraveled around you.
So Shae will look very unsettled. She'll look very unsettled looking at that map, kind of finish buckling her armor closed and just kind of like...
Are you well?
Just never liked that place. The castle. We're headed near it at the very least, so we don't have to go inside. So that's...
Well, is there anything we should know about it? You seem the expert here.
I've been there a few times. It is presently haunted, so we should probably give it a wide berth. There was a fairly recent tragic event.
Oh dear.
Within its walls. Most, if not all, of the Westgate Merchant Council was killed in a fiery conflagration, the origins of which is presently unknown.
Oh my. Those poor souls.
It really hurt
at the
the
beginning
economy
of
some.
At the
Most of
beginning
them were
the
awful.
uprising.
Yes, at the beginning of the uprising.
Yeah, the uprising, it was not good at all. The uprising really threw off the commerce and has really been affecting the economy overall in general. We've been trying to, within the Church of Joaquin, to make up for that, but it takes a lot of work to be able to reverse disasters like that.
Well, I recently came from Mithranor trying to help them rebuild after Shade Enclave fell on it, so I understand.
Oh yeah, that, right. Well, it seems the three of you have been enlisted to gather this treasure for the purposes of balancing the books, and I will be accompanying you.
All this for a ledger. All right.
Leading
Hey,
us,
ledgers are
right?
important.
Or is accompanying?
What's that?
You're not in charge?
I mean, I could be in charge.
Well, you seem to have experience at this sort of thing.
I guess that makes me in charge then. In any case, I hope all of you are ready. I don't know about our dear accountant here.
Well, the sooner we start, the sooner we'll be back. So I'm as ready as I'm gonna be, and all that. As long as we're not gonna do any combat or anything, I'll be perfectly fine. Thank you very much.
You still might need a means of defending yourself. Do you have a weapon?
I have my dagger right here, and I'll be fine. I can take care of myself if need be. I'm very proficient at running.
Oh, okay. Of course.
He knows the secret art of running away. Yeah.
Well, she'll get up again and from the table, belt her rapier on, and just be like, I guess we should head off then, unless there are other things that any of you needed to do.
Does anyone need to do anything before we head out?
As we say in the accounting field, tally ho. It's
tallying. Account jokes.
Oh.
And so it was that the adventurers headed off into the mountains. The map leads you close enough to the ruined castle of Cormeril that you can see the ruins. It must once have been a grand place with multiple stories, but that they have burned and crumbled until there's just one story left with some steps leading up to nothing. You can see it's daylight when you're venturing out, because it's the morning when you're headed over there. Shae, you keep looking around as though you're going to see little blue lights glowing in the air, but nothing. Every time you think you see one, you shake your head and realize that it's just empty air. So you're on this elevated stone walkway that hugs the cliff wall sometimes, and sometimes parts away from it, and there's no railing. So it's a bit treacherous. Far below you, water is crashing through holes in the ridge mountains from the Sea of Fallen Stars. It's actually very scenic and a bit treacherous. Which of you... Okay, I'm going to need everyone to roll a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, fun.
Yes.
Before we do that, this seems like a very good time for me to break out my rope of climbing that I created with one of my infusions.
Sweet.
So I will extend that horizontally along the edge of the cliff face to give some people something to hold on to as they move.
Okay.
I got a 14.
Okay.
Same.
Okay.
All right, let's a second here.
Boop. I got a 16.
Okay.
18.
Okay. All right. Semyon and Lathion. Right. It's one of those elf words that I didn't make up myself, making it hard for me to pronounce it. Sorry about that, Kendra.
It's okay, no worries.
All right.
I just kind of made it in my head.
Yeah, no worries. All right, so you're headed along. You're making use of the alchemist's rope. Shae doesn't seem to be having much trouble. She's very sure-footed. But at one point, the rock is a little unstable underfoot. Lathion and Simeon, you kind of stumble a little bit, and rock falls down, skips off the stone and down into the water, some 120 feet below. But you do manage to keep your hold. You just kind of like,
Careful.
Yeah. Right. Semyon's just hand over hand on the rope because his feet don't quite reach the... Action alchemist.
Shae, for her part, she's kind of got thrown she's kind of thrown on this cloak and has kept the hood up, shading her eyes as they've traveled because daylight.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, Shae seems to be uncomfortable in the broad daylight. All right, and we can go to Roll20 now if our mysterious silent deity wants to pull that up for us. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, you all see it?
It's black for me.
It's black for you. Okay.
Yep, black for me also.
Well, there's a lot of black in like the middle of the map.
I zoomed out.
Shae hasn't cast dark vision on all of this yet.
I see.
It's just a black
Shard just took
rectangle.
over the screen, man.
Well, that might mean that you have to reload. Let's see.
I can try to reload.
Should I just
Reload.
just refresh it?
Yes.
Dragons.
Still not seeing
Still
anything.
black.
Yeah, still getting a
Except
black
the
screen.
black.
Okay. Well, this might mean that, like, Roll20 is not going to be feasible for us. I should have tested the actual adventure map before I started this, so that's my bad. I apologize.
Sorry.
No worries.
Okay, well,
Theater of the mind it is.
yeah. So you're on a narrow walkway that's hugging the rock wall. It goes past the doomed castle. Oh, are you able to see something? Is it coming up?
Only through the stream, which is the weirdest thing.
Oh, that is strange.
Oh yeah, I
Like
have it
I-
on the stream too.
That means that Yang Yang can see it, but maybe the rest of you can't.
Nobody else can.
That's funny. Okay, I will describe what things look like based on the map, and you can kind of see yourselves moving around. I did try and move the map. It's in the lower left.
Yeah.
Where you want to
On the
start.
stream, we can see it still.
Okay, cool. So yeah, you're in a you are hugging the rock wall on a narrow walkway.
I'll get
You wanna
friendly
just-
with the wall.
Keep heading that way. What is your order that you want to move in?
I have no preference.
Simeon wants to be in the middle.
Shae can move in front just because she can probably react to things a little quicker than everybody else.
And you are the unofficial leader, so.
I have been, yes.
If you have no objections, I put you in the arbitrary order of Shae, Lathion, Simeon, and Rhombus.
Fine with me.
Sound good?
Mm-hmm.
That sounds
All
good to
right.
me.
In that order, you are moving up stone path. Okay. You get to about there, you see a cave entrance. And Shae, you're in front. Make a stealth check, because I assume you're being a little bit subtle.
Yeah, let me... Oop. It's a 27.
Okay. There are indeed a couple of orcs that are posted outside this cave entrance. You can see them with your very good dark vision, and they are kind of loitering around, grunting to one another in Orc. Does anyone speak Orc?
No, I do not believe
Never had a reason to do contracts with orcs.
Okay. You cannot tell what they're saying. I don't seem to have noticed you.
All right. I'll look back and kind of make a motion, just kind of be silent, or at least as silent as possible.
Can the rest of us see the orcs too?
I figured that the rest of you had hung back slightly.
Okay.
And like you can see that Shae has just abruptly frozen and is giving you the signal. You can peer out and see what she's looking at, and you can tell that there are two orcs standing there.
I narrow my eyes, but don't do anything.
Okay.
I'm just hanging back here.
Well, let's see. The question is, Shae will kind of slink back to the others, and very quietly. Well, There's only 2, but that doesn't mean there aren't more inside. And we certainly don't know why they're... Now, I know that there's always been a bit of a thing between elves and orcs.
Oh, don't get me started. Cross my arms indignantly. Fine. I'll be good.
We don't know why they're here. This may be their home. I'd rather not rush in and just start stabbing things without knowing who they are.
No, I agree with you.
Well, no, we cast Fairy Fire first.
Well, is there a way to
No?
get
Okay.
around them?
Do they look like capitalist orcs, or like part of the fire snails? Maybe we could make a deal with them and get around this.
I mean, if they are part of the fire snails, we might actually be able to make some kind of arrangements.
How were they dressed? Did they look... yeah, just how were they dressed?
I'm going to need one of you who is going to observe them to make a perception check.
I'll observe them.
I mean, multiple of you can observe them, but you're all going to need to make stealth checks.
Okay. I'll make his perception.
Do you need me
check.
to make another one?
If you're going to go observe them, yes.
All right,
back here.
Stealth first.
Stealthy, where are you?
Only a 16 this time.
Okay. And Kendra, I'm going to need you. Yeah, okay. You made your 2 checks. All right. And
Perception and
perception,
12
okay.
on stealth.
All right. Okay. Lathian, you can tell that they are wearing boiled hides over one another, like kind of patchwork armor. Not any particular colors or heraldry that you recognize.
Okay.
Shae, having seen murder bearers and they don't appear to be any tribe of orcs that you've seen before.
Okay. Right. Well, that does complicate things a little bit.
They also don't seem to have seen either of you. All right, you pulled
Lovely.
back a little to join the main group. So we had a question in the chat, which is, unless somebody already answered it, which domains do the 3 clerics have? Because they're all different.
Oh.
I believe I have white.
I have knowledge.
I have Twilight.
There you go. You all worship different deities, which is amazing.
Oh yeah.
Haven't gotten into any theological debates yet, but it might happen. We'll see.
Including one that seems to be for just science.
All right, so one of the orcs says something, and the other one makes a grunt that sounds kind of like laughter, and he starts headed over this way, like sort of in your general direction.
But he's not acting like he's seen anything. He's not. Doesn't seem to be investigating, or he doesn't have a weapon out or raised or anything like that.
Make an insight check.
Insight. I'll do my own insight. I don't mind. Well, I got a 20 on my insight, so.
Okay. Rhombus. Yeah, that orc is definitely walking casually. Doesn't seem to have noticed anything in particular. Hasn't seen your party. You're all hiding behind rocks, and Simeon is hiding behind the rest of you, because very small. This orc walks up to the ledge, and starts peeing off the ledge.
I knew it.
I kind of thought that's where this was going. Okay.
And starts kind of crooning out a tune like.
Wrinkle my nose in disgust. Oh.
I can see the map now.
Start tapping my foot. That's kind of
Can you? Perfect. It got real light. It got much lighter all of a sudden, which I think
I can see it
means
too.
that roll 20 kicked in. I don't know.
50, 65.
Oh, Yang Yang says he turned off the dynamic lighting. That must be it.
That would do it.
Oh, yeah, that might.
I never turned on the dynamic lighting. It was just automatically enabled, and I take no responsibility. Anyway, so the orc is peeing off the ledge.
I wrinkle my nose in disgust.
All right, I think what I might try to do, since none of us speak Orcish, and I don't really want to give up our position, I might try to. The one I don't know though. The one that's still further back, the one that's staying back by the where they were before. I might try to cast Sleep on him. So,
while you're figuring that out, I came upon the flavor text that I had for this area that I just never actually bothered to read for you. I'm so sorry. The path climbs up one last steep switchback toward a bare shoulder of rock. The hillside rises steeply on your right and drops precipitously away on your left. Debris and rubbish lie scattered over the last 100 yards or so. Discarded water skins, bits of charred bone, splintered casks and kegs. Up ahead, the path opens into a wide ledge, doubles back sharply into the mountainside. Two bestial humanoids, orcs, in hide armor, stand watch. They appear inattentive and just kind of walking with each other.
All right.
Okay. So, actually, Shae, before you try that, I think I would like to try using my magical tinkering. I'm going to pull out, pick up a small stone off the ground, and I'm going to use my magical tinkering to make it emit a chirping sound.
Okay.
Continuously. And then I'm going to load that in my crossbow, which has a little pouch on it so that it can be used to fire rocks or other small objects. And then I am going to try to fire it on the other side of the orcs away from us and right about up here to see if that enables us to sneak past them.
Okay. All right, so you load it in there. Shae's like, I shall use my magic, and you're like, wait. I have a
she's probably.
I have a tinkerer idea. Here we go. Okay, make me an attack roll with the crossbow, please. Just to make sure it ends up on target.
Shae probably had her holy symbol halfway to her face before you stopped her. Because hers is it's a silver half
magic. Oh, okay.
See if we can get through this without burning a spell slot.
Pew! All right, you fire your crossbow bolt. It sails true and straight over the ridge and kind of plinks off the wall of the mountainside to the north. You got an 18, which is high enough that the coral sticks into the stone, like it hits into like a little crease between two rocks, and just it quivers there, chirping. What is this? There you go.
Nice.
Yeah, like that.
The orc who is relieving themselves goes, huh? Just kind of hurriedly fumbles with their clothes, and the other orc pulls out an axe and heads over here, looking around, and they are definitely looking northward to see where the source of that sound might be. It's a very obvious.
All right.
sound.
I think that's our cue.
Yeah. Shae will actually she'll just still put her mask on, but she'll just kind of just shrug and move around into the cave mouth.
Okay. Can you move yourselves at this point?
Yes.
Right. All right.
Yes, I can.
Assume that you can move freely at this point, but you are going to need to make stealth checks to be quiet enough the orcs don't hear you moving past them.
This is fair.
Okay. Stealthy, stealthy.
Okay. Wow.
I got 30.
Wow. I need a stealth from
Yeah, I'm
Lathion.
coming.
Okay.
Oh, shoot.
And that is actually sufficient for you to make it past. Yeah, their perception is a little bit lessened because they're busy listening to the chirping sound. Okay, so you can see some stairs leading down this sharp passage into the mountain. Okay.
Oh, better stairs than ladder.
Right. Just
Fair.
basically carven
Stairs
steps.
are fine.
Basically carven steps that are leading you down. Okay.
All right.
Yeah. All right. You don't see any other potential adversaries. At least not yet. The stairs lead down to a landing, and then another set of stairs leads down into a deeper cavern.
How's the lighting up ahead?
It is pitch black. There's no lighting at all.
All right.
I'm
Time to be a little bit
I'm
broken.
gonna have a problem with that.
Yeah, I'm about to solve that.
Okay.
Right, a couple of
Thank you
you
very much.
cannot see in the dark. Yeah.
Shae will kind of she'll touch her mask and focus and murmur a prayer, and then I will share my dark vision with all of you. So
So considerate. Thank you.
Snazzy.
so since you're within 10 feet of me, for the next hour, you have a dark vision with a range of 300 feet.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I can't see this far normally.
Yeah.
Yep. So you can see basically into that lower chamber.
Are my
See
eyes
that
glowing?
hint of some steps.
It may feel like it, but you'll be fine.
No, I'm curious.
I don't know. How does the
Probably don't
magic
care, do
manifest?
I would probably imagine it would feel kind of like a pleasant warmth would kind of blossom in the eyes, and it would sort of seem to their vision like the area ahead of them was bathed in pale moonlight.
Ooh.
Nice.
Okay. Yep. So you can see these steps leading down into this chamber to the south of you. You want to head
Perfect.
that way?
Yeah, let's head down that way.
Yeah, we should
Okay.
probably keep moving before those orcs turn around.
Yeah, just a bit.
If they,
All
if they
right.
see it's a crossbow bolt, they may get
As you're moving
little suspicious.
along, let's see, Lathion.
Mm.
As you're moving along, you notice in the wall to your left that you're moving down along this wall. There are arrow slits right here and right here. You see where I'm pinging on the map?
Mm-hmm. I do.
Coming out of some chamber just off the passage.
Are they like really? Are they? Because they're arrow slits. Could I like peer through one, or are they? Wait, are they too narrow?
They are 15 feet above the floor.
Oh,
So
okay.
they're
Okay.
pointed downward.
So we should probably stay pressed up against the left-hand wall in order to stay out of the line of sight of those and stay underneath them.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably a good idea.
Okay. All right.
I wish they had mentioned
Yeah, it would
orcs earlier.
So yeah, you could just kind of shimmy your way down to this next chamber if you like.
I'm gonna wiggle along the wall. Ta-da!
Yeah.
So far, stealthy intrusion is going well. Okay.
Lathian 1, wall 0.
Okay. All right.
Soundly defeated.
Moving
This adventuring
eastward from
thing
the
is
ledge,
easy.
the trail turns south and rises steeply through a cleft in the rock toward a grand entrance. Shallow steps lead up through a steep fissure to the south and turn east into the mountainside. Here, a broad entranceway has been carved out of the stone. Marble steps cracked with age and veined with green moss lead up to a strong double door of carved stone, 8 feet wide. And I just clicked away, sorry. And almost 10 feet tall. Arrow slits high on the north and south walls command this area.
Does the stonework look like any particular, dwarvish, elvish, orcish?
Any sort of ish.
Make a knowledge history check. The great doors are open. They stand wide.
Can I make a history check as well?
Mm-hmm.
$12.
Okay. Rhombus, with your 10, you're pretty sure these are, that's dwarven craftsmanship. Lathian, you are also pretty sure this is a dwarven complex.
Okay.
Like, this would be an entry to a dwarven stronghold,
Okay.
considering the defenses that you've come across. The arrow slits, the difficult, narrow passage to get in.
The doors are closed presently?
Doors are open presently.
All right.
Okay.
And since they are open, you can look through. You can see the doors there, and there are actually braziers with flame inside that space. You can see flickering fire beyond, and a rope bridge.
I wasn't sure if that was a ladder or a bridge.
I feel like
oh no.
ladder. Okay.
All right.
You had that
A
direction.
rope bridge. Yeah.
Somewhere near the doors, you think, Shae, since you're going first, you think you see a shadowed form moving, just like flitting in through those doors, and then like around the doors and to the inside.
Be careful. Something might know we're here.
What did you see?
I can't be sure. Something shadowy.
Oh. That doesn't
But,
bode
That
well,
doesn't sound good, but it could go either way. Do we see any more arrow slits in the walls?
Since you know what to look for, you automatically see them. There are arrow slits up above on the north side and on the south side. I'm gonna give myself a
Yeah,
color
we're not
other than
getting-
black. It'll make it easier to see.
we're not getting
Here.
Oh my god. That's the highlight right there.
That's Yang Yang putting in some text. Yang Yang is doing some light role play of all the monsters. Whenever you want to intercede, Yang Yang, you feel free. Okay.
Well, we're not going to get past those arrow slits without one of them being able to see us. So our best bet is to move quickly and hope that.
If this is a dwarven construction, as you just said, are the orcs smart enough to know to use the dwarven arrow slits?
They might not be. That's fair.
But they also may have figured
But-
it out. I mean, it depends on how long they've been here.
That's fair. That's fair. Not all of them are stupid.
Well,
And it also
wasn't-
depends
I'm
whether the
not
orcs are actually in
defending-
charge.
I'm not defending their intelligence. I'm just saying, even stupid creatures, in large numbers in particular, like one of them
Lathian's like,
probably.
Let's not get crazy here. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, so so shall we advance up and peek through the doors to see what's on the other side?
Yeah, I'll stick close to the wall and kind of start to inch my way up toward the doors,
I'm gonna follow you.
and then peek around.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
And I'll expect one of you to tell me when I can go forward.
Okay. Sure enough, beyond the great doors. Okay, the great doors open into a large hall. A narrow ledge
All right.
overlooks a deep, dark crevasse that cuts the room in two. A dangerous-looking rope bridge, frayed and thin, spans the gap. Water gurgles and rushes somewhere far below. Two copper braziers
Well.
burn brightly on either side of the door, illuminating the western half of the room. Another ledge is just barely visible on the other side of the chasm. The fire is kind of messing up your dark vision, so you can't really see beyond the
All right.
range of the fire.
Well, this is.
It's very smoky
Cozy.
too. Whoever lit those fires is not, like, they know nothing about proper ventilation.
Maybe
Fair.
they all asphyxiated themselves.
That would make this simpler. So can we
It would.
see the rest of the bridge and what's on the other?
You can only see about halfway across the bridge. It
Well,
just kind of turns into haze after that.
Okay, and right here are solid walls, as far as
Yep,
we can tell.
As far as you can
Okay.
tell.
Shae will go ahead and slip out onto the ledge then.
Okay.
A rope
Try to
bridge. What
do
could
so
possibly go
stealthily.
wrong?
Okay. Make your stealth check, please.
Stealth check.
Should all of us make stealth
Ooh,
checks?
I rolled a 1 and got a 14.
Stealth is kind of her thing. It's true.
Yeah.
Everyone
Yeah.
who is going into that hall should make a stealth check. Yes.
Okey dokey.
Like, she would have tried to urge people to, like, hang back a little bit just in case, but...
Ooh,
I
21,
got
and
that
that's with
covered.
disadvantage. Sweet.
Ooh.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, you seem to be. Yeah, nobody seems to have noticed you. At least not at this point.
They're all in
You-
bathroom breaks.
You being very, very quiet, very, very subtle.
For me.
And they're all peeing into the chasm.
Yep. Just don't fall in.
Guess I should
That's not
be ready to
water.
come in.
Okay.
All right.
So I want to point out one thing. Shae has this thing where she can hide in plain sight. Not everyone can do that.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to point that out, just in case it's relevant at some future point. I'm sure it's not soon or anything.
Does
That's
anybody
part of
have a
why-
way- Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that's part of why she's kind of urging people to hang back, because she can, like, really disappear. Like, if you glance away for a second, she's just kind of not there.
Like a shark.
So-
Do we have to stay within 10 feet of you to keep the dark vision, or does it come back on? If
No.
We get... Okay.
It just lasts for an hour. It's just
Oh,
you have
cool.
to be within 10 feet of me to cast it, but otherwise
Gotcha. Okay.
you have it for an hour.
Okay.
Does anybody have a way to put the fires out?
Seems like the alchemist could do.
Yeah, it sounds like.
So the elf and the warrior are the alchemist are kind of like leaning against those doors, like, I don't know. And Shae's just standing on the other side, shadows around her. She's hard to see even for you. Like, you know she's there, but you get the sense that it's only because she wants you to know that she's there.
Shae?
Yeah. Like, very
Just
quiet,
checking.
yes.
Just checking.
So, Shae, do you want to?
Well-
do you want to maybe scout a bit? You can borrow my rope if you want to extend it across to make the bridge safer and give you something to hold on to.
I will go ahead and scout. Keep the rope for yourselves. I will, because I'm pretty confident in my own capabilities to get across without getting hurt. I say, famous last words. But Shae will kind of slink toward the bridge then, and start to try to make her way across as stealthily as she can.
Okay. All right. Once you get onto the bridge, you get far enough away from the darkness, from the braziers, that your dark vision kind of kicks back in.
Okay.
And you can get about halfway across the bridge or so.
Okay.
And it is at that point that you can see the ledge on the other side. Sorry, somebody keeps buzzing me, and I'm like, I wanted to see if it was Yang Yang trying to talk to me. Okay, no. You can see the other side, and there are two orcs there, and they're standing there with javelins, and they seem to be guarding that end of the bridge. But they don't see you. You're far too stealthy. However, it is at that point that you see that there is another figure, clad all in black, with a scarf, like a red scarf around their face, standing at the other end of the bridge. And you got the sense that you can only see them because they want you to see them.
Okay, Shae tenses. Do they see me is the question.
It seems pretty clear that they can see you. And
Okay.
it is at that point that they have this red scarf, and just over the red scarf is this white, silvery white mask with a sad face on it. And you realize as they pull the mask free that it's your own face.
Oh no.
This can't be good.
Nope.
And then light springs into being all around the bridge. Just bright daylight, just all over the place.
So I take it the rest of us see all this. Can we see on the other
yes.
side of the bridge?
Oh yes. So several things happen. One, the rest of you can see two brutish humanoids standing watch at the other end of the crevasse. They snarl a challenge, revealing yellow tusks, and prepare to hurl their javelins at you. I have something to show you. Just some little arts.
Ooh.
Yep.
Shiny.
Nice.
And you also see this woman in all black who looks exactly like Shae, except her skin is extra sallow and drawn, and her eyes are bright red. And she is lunging towards Shae, reaching down as though to draw a weapon. And I'm going to need everyone to roll initiative.
Oh, throwing me right into it.
What could go wrong?
What could go wrong? Exactly.
What could go wrong indeed?
I may have did that twice.
Okay.
3 times.
Make sure I am
Sorry,
selected.
I'm coming. Oh,
Yeah, so just to go through this, click on your token, then hit roll initiative.
oh, so we don't have to do it in D&D. Oh well, I already.
Right.
Oops, I rolled twice. Sorry.
That's
Apparently, I'm
okay.
very dazzled.
I
Very dazzled.
am going to sort these, and then I'm going to go through and take off Okay. What did I roll? Ah, yes. Okay. All right, and I need to roll initiative for the orcs. Yeah, buddy.
Oh, great.
You see, when I started this this game, and we're like, oh, what level should everybody be? And I mean, obviously I wanted Allie to play Shae, obviously, but Shae's 12th level. And then Kendra was like, well, you know, I'm fairly new to D&D. I don't want to play a super high level character. And I'm like, yeah, we can make this work. This is me making it work.
Nice.
So
As long as Shae stays on the bridge, we should be fine, right?
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Shadow Shae grabs at regular Shae. Did not hit with that first attempt. Okay, she does grab you with the second attempt. You can make an opposed acrobatics or athletics attempt. I didn't have you bother with the first attempt because she just rolled way too low. But the second one you might be able to.
Well, that's a 24.
Okay. Yeah, she did grab you.
Okay.
It's funny because her modifiers are exactly the same as yours.
Oh, right.
Like a shadow of you.
Exactly. And Negashae, once she has hold of you, just pulls you off the bridge.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Oh.
That was our helper.
So rude.
Oh.
And
Didn't
go
you say
falling.
something about fighting your own shadow earlier?
As I'm falling.
Little
busy.
Oh yeah, as you're falling, she pulls out her sword to stab you. So
Oh, great.
I expect you'll still be sword fighting while you're falling.
Oh,
Lathion.
absolutely.
That's very
That's how that works, right?
I should also make clear you are falling through a huge orb of daylight, so you cannot shadow dance through it. It's almost like she knew what your weakness might be.
It's almost like she knows you.
Yeah.
All right, Lathion, what are you doing?
Oh, okay. Bear with me here, everyone. This is
Yeah,
where
don't
I
worry.
trip up. Okay, so there are still 2 orcs.
Yep.
They haven't moved yet.
They
right?
have not gone yet. They are readying their javelins.
Okay, are they still on the? But they're still on the other side of the bridge.
Yep.
Okay. Well, let me double check something here real quick.
If it helps, we could go to our break right now. That is a very dramatic moment to go to our break on, and then we can do a little, planning for the combat when we get back.
Okay,
Does
it's
that
up to
work?
you. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, yeah. Yang Yang, oh deity in the clouds, please queue us up for 10 minutes, and we will be right back. Don't go away. Although, I mean, do go and use the bathroom or get drinks or whatever you need to do.
Please. Yeah.
Don't go away permanently. And we'll be back soon. And we're back. Welcome back, everybody. So we left with some fireworks there. Shae encountered her mirror image witch self, and then they both went falling into the pit of doom. I mean, off the bridge. And the orcs spotted the rest of our heroes, and now a battle is about to ensue. And Lathion is going first. So.
Okay, I'm going to cast Spiritual Weapon, which is in my case, is a crystalline long sword in honor of my deity. So I'm going to cast it at the orcs. It does have a range of 60 feet, so it should appear right next to them. Great.
Like between them?
Yeah.
Okay. I actually do have a little token, although it's not as transparent as I would like, but it's okay.
That works.
There it is. Ta-da!
Ta-da!
Sword appears. So this crystalline longsword appears floating in the air, and I believe it attacks immediately.
I think so.
As part
When
of
you
the
cast a
action
spell,
to
you can
summon it.
you can make a melee spell attack against a creature within 5 feet of the weapon.
Okay. So go ahead and make that attack.
Do I just roll? Remind me what I roll. Just a d20?
Actually, it already made the attack for you when you clicked on it.
Oh,
So
right. So
you got a 20, which hits, and it does 4 force damage.
okay.
Awesome.
Solid
Orc.
opener.
Okay. That was just a bonus action. So
Right. So I can also do regular action. Let's see. I will do Sacred Flame, which
Okay.
descends on a creature that you can see within range.
what's the range of Sacred
The range
Flame?
is 60 feet.
Okay.
And they must make a dex throw.
One of the orcs cries out something in Orcish, which we have our helpful editor's note. It says, "Bloody bollocks! Not another elven spooky sword." All right.
Makes you wonder how often this happens.
I'm like, take that, pig face!
Are you targeting the same orc
Ooh.
that your sword smacked into?
Yes.
Okay. So dexterity save. Oh, he got a 21, so I think he dodged out of the way of your Sacred Flame.
I think so.
The orc was recoiling from the sword strike, and your Sacred Flame basically immolates the sword, and the orc is like, "Ah, ah!" Well, at least it's gone now, and the sword just comes swinging out of the Sacred Flame. Okay.
No, it's not.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So the orcs then do get to go.
Okay.
They are going, well, they were readying their javelins to throw, and you have some cover where you are, since you're still sort of behind the semi-closed doors. They're about halfway open. Just enough space for one person to walk through, right? So, they are, well, if they, yeah, they're going to throw their javelins, although it's going to be a difficult throw. Here we go. Not if they roll a crit, though. Oh, and then a 1. So one of those javelins, Lathion's like, "I think we're doing well." And Lathion, you take 12 points of damage.
Ow!
Ooh, they do know we're 3rd level, right?
Apparently not. The other javelin just it goes,
Ooh.
aha, and then bounces right off the rock and falls into the pit.
Out, Shae.
Yeah, what?
The orc is going, oh.
The orc who hit you, the orc who hit you bellows out something in orc. The editor's note says, "We gonna get ya, leaf ears."
Ow. Don't you know everything's hard at level 3?
Apparently not hard enough, though. Like your armor is not quite hard enough. Anyway, all right, fine. Okay, Rhombus, it is your turn.
Okay, so I am going to go ahead and cast Fairy Fire. And what that looks like in his case is he is reaching into his bag and pulling out a foxtail that has a glass ball in it that's about the size of a cantaloupe.
Okay.
And he swings it and lets it go so that it and when it lands, it bursts, and it's full of a very fine talcum powder sort of substance.
Okay.
That is day-glow phosphorescent orange and glitter. So that everything in this 20-foot square is covered in glitter and is now day-glow orange.
Yeah, I'm here for it.
That's
okay.
mean. That's
What's the range on your
Range is 60 feet.
okay?
Is this a
so
stronghold or something else?
is it just bursting amongst them? It's going to hit both of them. Okay. So they are going to make their dex saves. So we know orcs, they're very dexterous. They are known for being dexterous as a people. Okay, you got one
Sure.
of them. The other one made it.
One of them is named Dexter. He's so dexterous.
So the damaged one is not fairy fired. This one, however, is covered in glitter. Just pow, just all over.
Wow, we know his hobbies.
Yep. that orc was also the one who threw the javelin into the pit and is now covered in
not,
blood.
Oh no!
He's not having a good day.
The other orc is like, fighting with this elven sword, dodging laser blasts, throwing a javelin that like spears into the elf. And the other orc is like, oh man, I'm not getting a promotion, am I? All right.
He got glitter bombed and he lost his weapon.
That's right.
Okay. And
Is
for
that-
my bonus action, I'm going to cast Healing Word.
Okay.
On.
That's very nice of you.
Yes, and so what that looks like is he pulls out a piece of paper about this big, or two pieces of paper with paste between them. Leans over. Do you have a shellfish allergy?
Not that I know of.
Okay, slaps it over the wound, and it burns, but it stops the bleeding almost immediately.
Oh, thank you.
Sure.
How much
And
does that heal her?
I am trying to figure out how to roll that. Oh, there we go.
Rub some some shellfish in it.
Lathian discovers he's allergic to shellfish after all. No.
Dang it.
It looks
so
like
that's for 7.
7.
Okay.
And that is my turn. And he is using his move to, fully cower behind the door.
Okay. Simeon.
All right, Simeon is going to go ahead and first summon his weapon, spiritual weapon,
So many
which
spiritual weapons, right?
as a cleric of Joaquin, the Lady of Commerce, it shows up as a shower of golden coins.
Ooh.
And that's where it appears. And it goes ahead and attacks that guy.
Okay. 16 is gonna hit. So that orc is. You actually have. I think you have advantage since he's fairy fired.
Okay,
So
I will
you
try
can
it again, see what it
roll
does.
that twice and see if you crit. Okay.
Is that glitter bomb
Maybe no.
orc or the other one?
That's glitter bomb
That's
orc.
the bombed orc.
Yep.
So now he's gonna get coins on him.
Right. So that orc is having a bad day. Yeah. All right. So the coins slam into him for 4 points of damage.
Okay, and then I'm going to pull out my sling
Okay.
and go ahead and fire another coin at him, just to insult to injury.
All right. So
Does it also get
have
advantage?
some cover behind these rocks. So
Okay,
I'm just factoring it into their AC.
okay. But I still get
It
advantage,
also
right?
gets advantage because he has the glitter bomb situation.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, you hit him.
Alrighty.
Oh dang.
Ow! That was max damage, I think.
Okay. So this is what happens.
Not quite.
The shower of coins slams into the orc, and he's like, I'm definitely not getting a promotion. And then you just, boom, and your coin just smacks him right in the eye, and his eye explodes out of his head.
Oh,
Oh
And
my,
he
oh
turns
my.
back. He turns back, and his just this like gory hole in his face, and he says, "I'm definitely getting a promotion."
Oh,
Because now
I
he's
did not
like,
see
oh
that.
no, it's the one eye. It's the one eye effect. Oh,
Look at
great.
this wound. Look at this scar.
Now it looks like
The orc is
Grimish.
Not now, you
Exactly.
idiot. Editor's note. Okay.
All this while Shae is falling.
Yep. Shae, you are weightless, and then you are falling, and the other Shae is there, and she is staring at you with silent hatred.
Oh, great. Well, we're falling. There's not a lot I can do, especially in a globe of daylight. So,
Right.
I guess I will try to draw my sword.
Okay. You draw your sword. At the same moment, you see a black blade of darkness appear in her hand. She
Oh,
doesn't seem to have a sword itself, just the shadow blade that she has conjured.
oh, great. A, awesome. B, oh no. and I'll try to stab her with it. Like, oh no, oh dear. Here we go. Boop. That's a 24 to hit.
That's a heck of a boop.
That would hit.
All right. And she draws her rapier. It lights up with silver flame, and she just drives it forward. And no sneak attack, but I got 13, 22 damage.
22 damage. Okay.
I feel like that. No wait. Why am I getting 13? Oh, 1d8 plus 5. Duh. 22 13 piercing, 9 radiant.
All right. Yeah, she deflected your blade just enough so that it just went through her arm rather than through her midsection. She doesn't react as though that caused her any pain at all. Okay.
There's a flicker of concern on Shae's face.
I realized that when I copied over your tokens onto this page, I undid all of the good work that you did with hooking up your hit points to the tokens. I feel bad about that. Anyway, all right. So Shadow Shae gets to go. You're still falling.
Yeah.
Quite a ways.
Oh.
And she grabs the sword, which is still sticking into her arm, and pulls herself closer because you stabbed her through the sword arm.
Yeah.
And pulls herself closer until she can grab your neck. And then she goes like this. And attempts to bite you.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that's right.
That sucks.
Your shadow self is definitely a vampire. What's Shae's armor class?
Straight up armor class is 18.
Okay. So she does hit you.
Okay.
Let's see.
I guess this brings a new meaning to bite me.
She inflicts 10 points of piercing damage on you.
Okay.
And 13 points of necrotic damage on you. Although you do have some resistance, so that reduces it.
Yeah.
She's draining some of your life essence.
Okay. Remind me, resistance
halves the damage. So you just took 6 points of necrotic damage.
Okay.
It also reduces your maximum hit points by 6.
Oh, ow. Okay.
Yep. And she whispers, "She's mine."
Oh, creepy. All right.
Mine. All right.
Sucking the life out of yourself.
A little bit.
She has
Lathion's
issues,
turn.
doesn't she? Oh, okay. I'm going to stabby stab at the orc with my spiritual weapon. So do I just roll for damage this time since it's already?
Well, you do roll to hit, and then
Okay.
you roll damage.
Roll to hit. Okay.
But you could just click on the die again next to it.
Oh,
that's
did it
7.
do it twice?
Yeah.
Sorry.
The first one was a 7, so the
Okay.
orc dodged is out of the way of your blade this time.
And then I get another attack, or?
Yep.
Does she not have advantage for the fairy fire?
I assumed she was attacking the one that was not glittered.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, I was attacking the other one that I've been going after.
Right.
Glitter Boy is yours.
Glitter Boy is the boys.
I'm going to, let's see.
Sacred Flame again?
Yeah, I'm going to do Sacred Flame again.
Okay.
Oh. Oh, 16. No, sorry, that was a spiritual weapon. I only got a 3. Darn it.
I don't see any roll.
Oh, I thought there was a 3. Sorry.
That's 3 damage from
Gotcha.
if you had hit with the spiritual weapon. Ah, there we go. Oh yeah, right. Dex save. Okay. Oh, bad luck. Yep, the orc gets hit by your sacred flame this time.
Haha. I'm like, that'll teach you to call me leaf ears.
5 points of radiant damage. The glittering orc shouts something in orc. The editor's note caption says, "Hi, I'm Glitter Boy. I've never felt so alive." As blood is streaming down his face
from the one eye,
ruptured eye. Okay, the orcs do get to go. So at this point, the damaged orc is going to try and run away. So there are these doors behind them. He pushes one open and heads off behind the doors, leaving Glitter Boy. Glitter Boy, however, is just... He is in basically divine ardorous fury.
He's a one-eyed wonder.
That's right.
Isaac the cleric in chat says, "I'm not gonna lie, I would binge watch a One Eye and Glitter Boy TV show."
Hey, he comes running toward you onto the bridge.
Of course she is.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Real good plan. And he is going to, let's see, how many javelins?
He's figured out that he's invincible.
Really say. He is going to throw another javelin. Oh, dang. Okay.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he hit Lathion again.
Oh.
For 6 points of piercing damage. He didn't hit you the first time. That was the other orc who hit you. So another javelin hits you for 6 points of damage.
Oh, I'm mad now.
At this point, he doesn't have... It's easier to hit you at this point, but it's also... I mean, he's standing in the middle of the bridge with the glitter on him. Okay.
In a globe of daylight.
That's right. Rhombus.
I think all new depictions of Grumsh are going to have him covered in glitter now.
Okay.
Grumsh glitter!
Just realized I spelled Rhombus's name wrong, I think. I'll fix that. Okay.
All right.
Make the parallels.
Yes, very square, but a little bit off. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and use Firebolt.
Okay.
He is within range.
What does that look like when you use Firebolt?
That is, he pulls a tube off his chest. It looks a lot like what we look at as an emergency flare. You know how when you pull the cap off and you smack it on the bottom to make the flare shoot out? For him, it's something similar, but he holds it horizontally and shoots a pellet of flaming material at his target.
Excellent.
So, oh, hang on. I need to roll twice. I have advantage on this.
That's right.
Correct?
You
okay,
do.
So, right. So, so an 18.
Yep, that's gonna hit.
Okay, and damage of 6.
Okay. Glitter Boy's divine ardor was short-lived, and he bursts into flames and starts screaming in pain, and then topples off the bridge.
What a way to go! But if you want a dramatic exit,
oh yeah,
that's it.
Suitably dramatic.
What's it?
He'll be back.
The water is now going to wash off that glitter.
Flammable glitter.
Okay.
I got a flaming glitter covered orc toppling over.
All right, Simeon.
Well, I was gonna go ahead and shoot that guy, but I guess I'm not going to now. Well, the doors are closed over here, right?
You mean the doors at the other end?
Yeah, sorry. Being it long enough.
Yes. The one on the bottom, the southern door, is slightly ajar. but you can't really see through them.
The main thing is I'm going to go ahead and move the weapon that direction, but since it only goes 5 feet, that's not going to do a whole lot. But
So, are we
I'm
out of
gonna go-
initiative order?
Nope. Still in initiative order.
I'm going to at least go
Oh,
to
you
the
hear
edge
that
here.
orc bellowing bloody murder as he's running away, by the way.
Okay. I'm looking over the end here and seeing if I can see Shae down there anywhere. Hopefully, she's just dangling off the bridge or something. We couldn't see it.
Oh, they are still in the globe of daylight, and they seem to be floating.
Oh, well, that's unusual. Okay. Should we try to help? I will go ahead and try to. Is she within 60 feet of me? Since I don't know how far down or anything. Or is she within a slingshot?
Yes.
Okay, I will go ahead and try to get her with a sling.
It's kind of a surreal thing to see. Like, you run up to the bridge like, oh no, she's fallen to her death, and then you see them floating there, and her shadow self, the one that looks just like her except vampire-y, is clinging to her neck, drinking blood from her.
Okay.
Like some sort of insect.
I'm going to go ahead and load up a silver coin. I don't know if it'll make a difference or not, but that's why I'm going to use a silver coin to shoot.
Okay. I like this, using different coins for your sling. Okay, yeah, that's going to hit.
Okay. So 6 bludgeoning.
Okay. Does that happen to be a magical attack?
It is not a magical attack. That's the one thing I was hoping the silver might overcome it, but I know that's probably not actually true. But Simeon doesn't know
Curious.
that.
It does seem to burn her when it touches her.
Okay.
She jerks away from feeding on Shae and looks up at you, and her mouth is distended, and she has just this like mass of fangs. It looks like a forest of jagged teeth, and she's just up at you.
Oh, you may want to see someone about that. You know, you got this dental problem going. Oh. And that's it for me.
Okay. Shae, she's still holding you, and you are floating kind of toward the bottom of the aura of daylight. You see this flaming orc corpse, which died dramatically, just comes whoom right down past you and sploosh into the water about 100 feet below you. Actually, bounces off the cave walls a couple times and then splashes into the water. You hear the sound of bones breaking as it goes down, by the way.
His glittery bones.
All right. If I did Sacred Flame, would that hit us both?
No.
Okay.
Orc commentary is, I shall return more fabulous than ever.
I do have a question for you. Is that a ranged attack?
It is, but it doesn't have an associated AC. It has instead it has a Dex save.
Okay, so it's not really an attack then at all. Okay.
Yeah.
So it doesn't require a ranged attack roll. Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about being too close.
You don't have to worry about having disadvantage. Yeah.
Like she'll,
Even Terupus imperator to know where I was going with that. Okay.
Well, now that she doesn't have the other Shae latched onto her neck like that, she'll snarl and bare her own pair of fangs, which are probably more classic vampire looking.
Much cuter, okay.
They are, damn it.
Okay.
Because that's what we're worried about right now.
Yeah.
And then she'll utter a short prayer and bring down sacred flame on I guess the two of them, but mostly targeting
Cool.
her other self. Dex save is here. I'll display.
Yeah, why don't you just make a deck save?
Oh, me make a dex save, sure. Oh yeah. I make it.
Does that make it?
Yeah, that makes it.
She dodged it.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't even get a. It's not even a save is halved. It's just straight up save. So
yeah, she twists and contorts her way around it.
You dodged yourself.
You're spiraling around in the. Well, you didn't risk hitting yourself. You only would have risked hitting her. But you know, I just had you roll since you have access to the stats as easily as I do.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know who you're talking about, and just kind of does the spell.
The only one who matters. The only one we love. Oh, she tries to bite you again.
Of course she does.
Nom nom nom.
Nom 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 nom.
Nom 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 nom. Sadly, my bite is less impressive, or I might have tried to do that.
You need to vamp up your bite.
That's right.
Ooh,
You both latch
fangs
on.
anyway.
Becomes a contest so you can drain each other first.
Ooh, okay. She did not hit you, except that someone kind in the chat named Robert Emerson. I'm just throwing you under the bus there. Robert gave me inspiration, so I'm gonna roll.
Dang it, Koo.
Oh my God.
Dang it, Koo.
Nice.
Okay.
Double ones.
So I rolled double ones, which means either Roll20 is really glitched out right now, or you all are extremely lucky. So either way, whatever. So normally 5e doesn't really have rules for critical fumbles, but I think if something goes that poorly, there has to be something that happens. So I'm gonna leave it up to you all. Does she lose her grasp on Shae?
I think she busts her teeth, but
Does she bite down on the sword and her teeth break off?
I kind of like breaking the fangs.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. She tries to bite at you, but you raise up your sword as though you're gonna like punch her, right? And she just and some of her fangs just like break off and splinter off into the air.
Ew.
Yeah.
Gross.
Okay.
Chew on that.
Yeah, she is chewing on that. Okay. So that's her turn. Lathion, you hear drums start pounding and you hear vibrations going through the rock around you.
in the deep. Drums in the deep.
Wow,
I mean, yeah, we all went there.
I left an indentation in my finger. It's fine.
So you know it's a good game, right? Like,
That's how we know
Eric's
I'm committed.
excited.
I'm committed to D&D. All right.
Can I tell like what direction they're coming from?
Well, you hear loud tromping feet behind you.
Okay, so they're coming from. Okay. Where's the orc that keeps throwing javelins at me and insulting me? Is he still on the other side of the bridge? Or did he?
Chat is like, man, undead are the worst. It's a shame they don't have a cleric. Well done, Isaac. Well done.
Isaac the cleric, I might add.
It was just very funny. Okay.
Yeah.
Laskan, you can tell that the orc sentries who you left at the entrance, rather than pushing off the cliff, say, I'm just throwing out a suggestion. They are tromping into the passage.
We've got company.
And you think you can see movement through the doors at the other end of the pit.
Lots of company. Okay, so where is javelin throwing orc? Is he still on the other side of the bridge?
He disappeared through the doors deeper into the complex.
Okay. And I'm still wounded by the stupid javelin.
Yeah, well,
And we had a cleric.
by the 2 javelins. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't heal myself, can I?
Sure you can. If you cast a Cure Wound spell. Yeah, it's creature touched, which could be you.
Okay, I'm trying to find it on my spells.
Cleric, heal thyself.
I'm trying.
You know, even paladins can lay hands on themselves. But this is a family game, so.
Yeah.
Well, I am
Yeah.
beautiful. I mean, come on.
PG-13. PG-13.
I can't find it. I'm sorry. Cure wounds. I'm looking right at it. I'm sure. Is it under spells?
Yeah, should be.
Yep.
Burning hands, calm emotions, locate objects. Fairy fire. I have spared the dying.
A little late for yourself by then.
Little bit, yeah.
It is most likely that you will be unable to cast Spare the Dying on yourself.
Okay.
Yeah, hold
I
up.
said unlikely, though. There are situations.
Yeah, I can't
all
find
right,
it.
never mind then.
It'll be funny if it turns out that all 3 clerics did not prepare healing spells. Because like, it's an all-cleric party.
Someone will
I'll
do
go
it.
offense.
No. I'll leave it to someone else.
Okay.
Okay. Can I see the... So I can see the oncoming orcs? Or
Not
I
yet,
just hear
but they're
them?
going to show up in a second.
Okay, so... I'm gonna say maybe we should just go across that bridge. Although Shae is still floating there. Shae! We've got company!
Busy!
We'll get unbusy! We're about to be busy again!
Trying.
Okay. If you want to, you can ready an action to, like, Sacred Flame blast the first orc you can see.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, I'm gonna do
And then that will allow you to make an attack as soon as the orcs appear.
So since it appears in roll 20, and I made the mistake of rolling twice, do I just roll in roll 20? And how do I do that?
You could do either, it's fine.
Okay.
But I suggest you just roll from D&D Beyond.
Okay. Okay, so I would just select the spell, and then when I'm ready to cast it, just hit cast.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, I'm
So
gonna
you're
ready
readying the Sacred Flame for whenever you see something. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the orcs do arrive basically right after you act. So you can see this one come around the corner. That's the one who was peeing off the edge. And he comes around, he's got a javelin.
Those damn javelins.
So, yeah, you could Sacred Flame right now if you like.
Okie dokie, I'm going to.
Okay.
Right at Pissy Pot.
Okay.
Ow. That did not.
Well, you did make the save. Okay, so your Sacred Flame just like blasts into the wall right next to the orc. The orc's like, and it comes rushing over toward you. Because orcs have the aggressive trait, they can move up to their speed toward a hostile creature they can see. So
I'm not hostile.
2, 3, 4,
I'll get
5,
hostile about it.
6. Okay,
Uh-oh.
it can't quite reach you though. Didn't quite make it.
You're not hostile, you're Silverine.
Right. That's what was in the chat.
That was good. That was a good one. Okay. Next we have Rhombus.
Okay. Does the bridge count as difficult terrain?
Let me just double check. Okay. The bridge is structurally safe despite its delicate appearance. Crossing under fire is difficult enough to require checks. A successful check, you move at half speed. Failed check, you make no progress. It's not difficult terrain unless you're being attacked.
Okay. And how far down is Shae from the bridge, roughly?
30 feet down.
Okay. In that case, I think that the best thing we can do is get Shae back in the fight. So I am going to move out to here and throw my rope, my 60-foot rope, down to where she can grab it and we can get her pulled up.
Okay. So, yep, this rope comes down toward Shae. Simeon.
All right, so Simeon is going to go ahead and go this direction. Say, excuse me, target. I'm going to go ahead and do this. And heal you for 11 points of damage, or 11 points of a cure.
Me or Shae?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
The one who has all the javelins spoken out of her.
the pincushion elf, gotcha.
Yeah.
You said 11?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, I feel like myself again. Really, thank you, I owe you.
No problem at all.
Protector bless you. I mean, well, you're actually... Yeah, never mind.
Yeah, I get what you mean. And did you say, Eric, was there orcs coming through from this direction also?
You can see movement through those doors.
Okay, so I'm definitely gonna move that closer also.
Okay.
And that'll be it for me.
All right. It is now Shae's turn. So you're still grappled with your shadow double.
All right. So I see that rope now. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I guess I'll have to shake her loose if I want to try to grab for the rope.
Shake
So
it.
I will try to get her off of me.
Okay.
Shake it off.
So that is going to be an opposed check. So go ahead, and I assume you're going to use acrobatics.
Yes, I am.
Cool.
Ooh, no, 14.
Yep. She clasps onto you.
All right. Well, and that kind of, I think that eats up my action, doesn't it?
Does.
Yeah.
Do you have a bonus action to attempt?
I do not believe so. Let me double check.
Okay.
Nope.
All right.
Nope. All my cool bonus action stuff does not apply here. So.
Dark Shae is going to attempt to drink your blood again, but fails. Does not roll high enough.
Oh.
Okay. Lathion. So there's his orc
Yeah.
right there.
I was wondering if I could cast Mold Earth, which can make terrain difficult up to 30 feet. Would I be able to cast that under this orc's feet?
If you made the space he's standing in difficult, that wouldn't do anything. But if you made other spaces that he would have to move through, that
Yeah,
would...
like the stairwell that's right between me and him.
Yeah, you could do that.
Okay, I'm gonna do that. Oh, do I roll for that, or is it just...
It just automatically happens.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So basically, you twist the stone. And what does it look like when you do your spell? What do you do to the stone?
So I basically make it like, I make it warped, so it's all like, it looks crumbled and really jagged, like sharp rocks, sharp slippery rocks. Like, what's that called? That, like the obsidian volcanic rock, that really sharp stuff.
Gotcha. Yeah, all right.
which
so
is actually called AA.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. You mess up the stone under his feet. And anything else?
Is my spiritual
move?
weapon still active, or
Yeah, still there.
can I bring it over to me?
I think
Or-
spiritual weapon has a limitation on how far it can move.
5 feet in.
Oh,
I
yeah,
believe.
okay. Okay.
I thought it could move farther.
Well, I think
than
it can
that.
move up to 60 feet, but I guess if it's already...
Let me check.
Yeah.
Move the weapon up to 20 feet. It's attacking within 5 feet. That's what I've read wrong.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, you're right. As a bonus action on your turn, you can... Okay. So I can't do that.
I mean,
Is that
you
the
can
only...
you can start moving it closer to yourself.
Okay. Oh, yeah. We'll start. So maybe, like,
Or move it to block the door.
this door?
Yeah, that's why I moved the coins over there so that if anything's coming through that way, at least they're being attacked right away.
It's going to take a long time to get all the way back to you, but yeah.
Okay. I'll join the coins. Coin and sword.
I believe the spiritual weapon has to remain within 60 feet of you, too.
Oh, you're right. I could block the bridge, though.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll just do that.
Great. Okay. Are you gonna move or are you gonna stay there?
I'm actually, can I move just like around this corner here?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna do that. So I'm out of I'm out of javelin range.
Yeah. So you're basically ducking next
I'm
to
ducking
that
behind the
brazier.
corner. Yeah.
Okay. So Orc's turn. This Orc, seeing his target has moved out of the way, steps right onto the jagged stone. Ow! 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 Arr. And then finds himself next to Semyon. He didn't see you up until he got there, but he does see you when he's right next to you, and he is going to stab at you with his javelin. Ooh, 23 to hit.
Yeah,
hits
that would
Semyon.
kind of do it. Yeah.
Okay, 9 points of damage.
Ow.
Rude.
Other Orc. 6. Comes down here and goes, intruders! Rrr. Also comes up and attacks Semyon.
But you're the one that let us by.
I think a 9 AC is not going to hit, though.
No, it will not.
Okay. All right. And at that point, something else happens. Specifically, a door opens right there.
Oh.
Yes. Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Hey, Shae,
Yeah.
how exactly are you floating over there?
Carefully, I'm sure.
Very, very carefully.
Aren't you elves supposed to be good at
Okay.
spotting secret doors? Come on. How'd we all miss this?
Who was looking?
Well, nobody. But
Oh, look at the new door. It's adorable.
Yep.
Oh.
Sorry, I gotta move things a little bit. Okay. And then an Orc steps out of that door. Well, he opened the door and he steps through and sees all this this commotion going on. This Orc is wielding a bow, and he's gonna take a shot at Rhombus, I believe. So
Where are all
What's that
these
about
orcs
orcs
coming
not
from?
being smart enough to use the bow slits?
You would think they're breeding like orcs.
well, the bow slits are in this room, right?
It's
Yeah.
probably who was watching that direction.
So,
I feel like at that comment, both Shays would look up and be like, "Really?"
not all orcs are jerks, just some of them.
Just everyone I've ever met.
Just these ones right here.
Touche.
Oh.
Because there's two of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God. Unintentional.
Don't tell me
But
anything
okay,
for that.
I'll take it.
Okay. This orc, sorry, it took a second because Roll20 was loading. This orc is going to loose an arrow at Rhombus. Okay, Rhombus, you realize that the orc is there when he looses that arrow at you. And the arrow just sails past and chips off the wall. Okay. There is another orc following up behind that one. Lathion and Simeon, you can see that orc in the corridor, also with a bow. But that orc doesn't have a very good shot from where they are. Okay, Rhombus, the situation is growing increasingly dire.
Yes, it is. All right, so I'm going to look over at the orcs and yell, "Thank goodness," I don't know if they speak common or not, but "Thank goodness you're here. We caught a vampire intruder."
Okay, okay. Make a deception check. With disadvantage. I mean, you know, it's possible. Okay. What? The orcs don't seem taken in. And you are muted, Rumpus Verder.
It's a bingo thing.
And there's your bingo square, everybody.
And it's a bingo, yeah.
Yeah, okay, and I will use my action to go ahead and firebolt down at Negashay.
Okay.
That is a
Unfortunately, I don't think that 9 is going to do it.
no.
Okay, Shae, firebolt comes streaking past you. Your friends are trying to help you.
Which I appreciate.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, sorry, I skipped a few people there. It is Simeon's turn.
Yeah, and if Simeon knew what to do.
Yeah, well, there are 2 orcs right there.
There are, but Simeon does not like confrontation. But he's going to go ahead and deal with that because he has not much other choice. He's going to try to cast this one. Please, 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 everybody just calm down. We can work this out. Calm Emotions gets cast.
Sweet. Okay.
Go through.
I don't see it.
Okay, try it again.
There we go.
All right.
All right, charisma save. Oh, we all know orcs are very charismatic.
Oh, yeah.
What is the area of effect on calm emotions?
20-foot radius.
Okay, and I believe you can specify targets that are not affected.
Correct, and I would not want my people affected.
Okay.
Hang on, let me...
I assume you also include Shae, although Shae is
why I was trying to decide if
out
she
of
was-
range.
Yeah, she's out of
'cause
range.
She's
so-
30 feet below you.
Right.
So it's 20 feet radius from you?
Yep.
Okay. So it's basically going to hit these 3 orcs.
Yeah.
Okay, so 3
That one
orc
needs to-
charisma saves. Here we go. Hey. All right. 1 orc
Show
made
off.
it. Another orc also made it.
Oh, come on.
Wow, wow. Roll 20.
Guys, please calm down.
They're amped up.
They are indeed amped up.
And I'm going to go ahead and while I'm doing that, start backing away.
Are you going to disengage before you
That's
back
what I was
away?
trying to decide. Yeah, can I
'Cause it's
disengage
a-
would be the question.
It's an action to disengage, so
And that means I can't do it. I cannot officially disengage at the same time I'm casting the spell.
right.
they're gonna clobber me anyway, so I will have to go ahead and take that
Okay.
chance.
They are going to attempt to jab you with their javelins.
Yep.
13.
It misses, bounces off my some sort of
And
invisible
9.
shield. Also, it's
right.
like he's not wearing armor, but it doesn't go through either.
The orcs are like, squishy, squishy, be squishy.
And I'm moving all the way down to here.
All right. Fantastic.
And that'll be the end of my turn.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I'll leave that where they are.
Good, good, good. Okay. All right. Real Shae, your turn. So there's still this rope dangling there. Your friends are in an increasingly perilous situation above.
Yeah, I will. Well, first I will look at my doppel Shae or whatever, and I will say, "You can't have her," and then I will use my turn undead.
Awesome. Okay.
So she'll need to make a wisdom save, I believe. I think it's wisdom.
Yeah, I believe so. Are you good at wisdom saves?
I'm okay. It's not my best, but I'm okay.
You just made
Yeah,
the cleric very happy.
How's a 13?
It does not make it, actually.
Oh.
She needed
okay.
16.
Ooh. All right, well, she turns away from your glowing silver mask that's just, it blades of light, and she just recoils and her grasp loosens and she falls away through the daylight a little bit, like she swoops backward. And now that she's no longer holding you, you just start falling.
Grab the rope.
Oh, can I make a try to grab for the rope?
Yes.
The rope is 60 feet long, so you've got a little reaction time.
Yeah.
Make a dexterity saving throw. Yep.
It's only a 14.
All right. The rope starts slipping through your grasp. You're unable to catch hold of it. You're coming down through the aura of light. With your massive dark vision, you can see that it's about a 200-foot fall to rushing water. But you also remember, make an insight check. We'll see.
All right.
Okay.
21.
You remember this one time that you and Illyra were shadow jumping across rooftops, and at one point she just kind of grabbed your hand and pulled you off of a building and you just started falling, but then you shadow danced into the shadows before you hit the ground. So once you get out of the aura of light, soothing shadow closes around you once more.
Okay. Well, being a rogue, I do believe I get a cunning action.
That's true.
And I will use it. How far away am I from being able to... How far away am I from anything?
How far does your shadow dance ability allow you to leap?
It allows me to leap 40 feet.
Okay. Well, the light only extended 30 feet downward. So there is that 10-foot gap where if you were able to leap from just that gap to an area where there is no light on one side of the bridge or the other, which side of the bridge would you like to aim for?
I'll aim for the side where everybody's in trouble.
Okay. So you throw yourself into the shadows, trusting that this might work out. And you teleport basically blindly and show up right here. You come tumbling out of the shadow of one of these orcs, actually, and land on the ground, panting. The orc notices that you appeared. I was like, ah! Javelin. So, all right.
Did we see what happened to Shae? Did she hit the water?
Shae, so real Shae, you saw she was looking down at you with her broken teeth, and she looked kind of sad as you fell away from her, and then she swept out of the light and into the darkness. Rhombus, where you were standing on top of the bridge, you could see that Shae just flew out of the radius of light, like downward slightly. She didn't seem to be just falling, though, unlike your Shae. Your Shae just fell, just whoom. Okay. So, you can make a perception check, Rhombus, to see if you can tell what happened to Shae. Okay, you can't really tell. Like, she's in that gloom, darkness within the pit below the aura of light. She didn't come up this way, though. You would definitely have seen that.
Well, that's something. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, Lathion's turn.
Okay. So the orcs that are coming through the doorway here, are they like? I think they're like 20 feet away from me, right? Oops, sorry. Let me do that.
Yeah. 20
okay.
feet.
20 feet. So
This first one is 20 feet away from you.
Okay.
Well, there's 15 feet between you and the orc.
It's a little too far to cast Burning Hands, which is what I wanted to do, because it has a range of 15 feet, so.
Right. You could theoretically step over like here, and you could hit both of those two orcs with Burning Hands.
Okay, yeah, we'll do that.
And maybe
So,
Shae, but
Oh,
you don't know Shae's there technically.
Yeah, just do it.
okay, I will do it.
If she knew, she'd give you a nod.
You're 9th level, right?
12th, technically.
Okay. Burning Hands, sorry.
Yep. Mighty enough to survive.
Yeah.
Okay, and let's see. DC 12, dexterity save. Man, roll 20. Roll 20 either loves me or hates you guys. I don't know what it is.
I don't know. Well, I made mine, so...
All right, Shae, I'm pretty sure you evaded the fire.
Yeah.
Okay.
Evasion, baby.
So yeah, those two orcs get a little crisped. Okay. Are you going to move your spiritual weapon?
Yeah, I'll continue to inch it along here.
Okay.
How far along the bridge can I move it? 'Cause
I
it's
think you can move it 20 feet in a turn.
1, 2, 3, 4. So like here, or here, right over.
You can go through the air. It doesn't have to go over the bridge.
You could put it right over Rhombus, which would be kind of funny, but then he would have a hard time moving his token.
I'm hiding.
I'm hiding under the spiritual weapon. Yeah, like what if you worshipped a deity whose spiritual weapon was like a big cloak, like you just hide under it. Anyway,
That'd be kind of awesome.
it would be pretty funny.
Marvel,
Okay,
I want to have a word with you.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
This orc dutifully steps over here and looses an arrow at Rhombus again. 16.
That does not hit.
Okay. This orc moves out of the secret door and is going to loose an arrow at the first enemy he could see, which is Lathion.
Ah!
7. Okay, that arrow. Well, it's a target-rich environment. The orc couldn't figure out who to shoot, so it just loosed the arrow.
Went for the elf.
Got overly excited. Okay.
So what do I need to roll for?
Nothing. You don't need to roll. The orc missed you.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
These two orcs are just going to step up and engage Lathion. Well, this one knows that Shae's there. This one doesn't. So this one is just going to step up, and that provokes an opportunity attack if you would like to make it.
Okay.
I mean, from Shae.
Oh, sorry.
I will try to make that.
Okay.
Does a 17 hit?
Yes.
Nice.
All right, so that's 11 total.
Oh, nice. Okay. Well, that is sufficient to drop the orc, having been softened up by the burning hands. So that orc is coming toward Lathion. Like, okay, the orc does... All right, this is what happens. So the orc casts aside its javelin, its useless javelin, and pulls out this massive axe from its back and goes, Leaf ear gonna... And then this blade just bursts from its chest, flaming blade. I'm like, and then it collapses.
I just kind of stare at it a little incredulously.
The other orc, who is not dead, is going to attack Shae. So this orc actually turns toward Shae and engages the real threat. Ooh,
Orc
17.
commentary.
Does that hit? No, I mean,
No, it does not.
the real present threat at the moment.
Orc commentary is, death, my only weakness.
17 does not hit now.
Okay, yeah, the orc does not hit. Okay, so, Semyon, it's not actually your turn, but something happens that you should probably be aware of.
I'm already guessing what it's going to be, but go ahead.
Okay, well, behind you... Oh no, I think I moved everything.
Oh no.
It went
Behind you, another secret door opens.
Oh no.
This is what it meant. The note meant by secrets.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Gee, the door opened
And-
magically, and there's nobody standing right there, is there?
Another orc. This
So all the reinforcements.
is standing right there. I mean, it's ready, but like, the orc didn't notice the really tiny halfling. Because
Yeah, he was looking at all the big ones fighting it off in the distance. Got
Bursting
it.
out like.
Okay.
Throw a headbutt, Simeon.
The orc is literally going to try and walk past Simeon without realizing Simeon's there. So you can make an opportunity attack if you like.
I'm trying to decide. Can you do a spell as an opportunity attack? I don't think
If
you
you
can.
have combat, the Warcaster feat.
Yeah, which I do not. Okay. So my handy little dagger is gonna pull out.
Oh,
Try that.
Oh my god, you got a 20.
It's not an nat 20. It's a dirty 20, but I'll still take it. Remember, I am right at his waist level.
Dagger of warning.
Wow.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you stab the orc somewhere unpleasant.
God.
How much
Threatening his
damage
family
do you
jewels.
do?
Yep. I'm doing 4.
That's not bad. All right. The orc notices you now.
I bet he does.
And he now has a beautiful singing voice.
I was just gonna say his voice is a little higher now.
Yeah. You jabbed your little fang into the orc's groin, and the orc is going to loose that arrow at you, but
It's point blank range though.
yes, makes with disadvantage. So here we go. Oh, sorry, I only had to roll once. 14. 14
Misses. Skips off. It looks like it'll hit and just skips right off.
Yep. Sweet. Okay.
How is he doing that?
So
You may have on the march here. You may have noticed that he has some kind of bracers on. So, okay.
okay. There's supposed to be more orcs over here.
You don't have to. It's fine. We don't mind.
What happened to my
It's
other
okay.
orcs?
They fled.
They'll jump down
Yeah,
there.
they ran away, obviously.
Yeah, clearly that's what happened. Clearly.
How dare?
How dare they?
They be feared.
Anyway, there are a couple of orcs coming down the corridor.
They're appearing like flumps.
Okay, Rhombus.
Okay. So because I took a missile attack this turn, the bridge is difficult terrain for me now, or requires a check of some kind.
Yes, it does. It requires, hold on, let me double check all of this. Rope bridge, crossing under fire, which you are. It's difficult enough to require dexterity acrobatics checks. On a successful check, you can move half your speed. On a failed check, you make no progress. If you fail real badly, you might fall. So go ahead and make a check.
Actually, I think I'll just stay where I am then.
You're like, nope.
Because that means that as I'm shooting at them, they'll also have to make those same checks to get to me. So I am going to. I think I will cast Ray of Sickness at this orc right here. Oh, sorry. At this orc right here.
Okay.
And,
Oh, yeah. I think we've determined that Roll20 hates you.
Yeah,
Like all of you.
that's a pretty sickening roll there.
yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
You don't have a inspiration, huh?
I don't think so.
Okay. So you shot out this ray, did not hit. That makes it Simeon's turn.
Okay. So Simeon is now going to, with his free hand, shoot a sacred flame at this guy right in front of him.
Nesker in chat said Shae ate the orcs to recover.
Absolutely.
Clearly.
Okay, so the DC 12.
Who's reading my brain here? Oh my god, again.
Come on.
I am flabbergasted.
Yeah.
Like, I keep rolling like 14s and above, and you keep rolling not that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's
No,
okay.
you're not.
Sorry, not particularly sorry.
And I'm also going to, as a bonus action, move out to here and attack that guy. Oh, well,
It
you're
can
right.
only-
It's out of
it can
range.
only be 60 feet.
It's out of my range. I
Can your
forgot when I
spiritual-
slid down.
I will say, however, that your your fountain of gold coins there
Mhm.
is making those orcs a little wary.
That's good.
They're like,
Spiritual weapon ready in action.
No, unfortunately. I think you can ready in action to attack with your spiritual weapon, I guess.
Yeah, but I've already done this.
Very unusual. All right.
Yep. All right, that's
So-
it for me then.
Shae's turn.
All right.
So you're
Let me
facing one
see
orc
here.
with an axe.
I am. Let me see. Well, for the moment, I think she will shout. She will shout out at the others, "Get across the bridge!" And then she'll stab the guy in front of her. I guess.
Like you do.
Okay.
There seems to be an orc in the way.
We'll handle that. Everyone else, get across the bridge. 20.
Oh yeah, it's gonna hit.
And then 19 damage.
Oh yeah, that slays that orc as well.
She runs that one through. So yeah, she'll go.
Aragorn with all the hobbits, but you know.
Yeah, kinda.
Kinda.
I think what she'll do is she'll shout. Specifically, she will shout. Let me see here, because I'm bad with character names. Lathion, across the bridge. Simeon, get to me.
Simeon's got an orc between him and the rest of the party.
Oh, I will try to deal with that. And actually, I will move. Since I killed him, I will move out.
Huh?
Oh, nope. Need to actually... There we go. I'll move... would moving right behind... No, moving right behind him would provoke, wouldn't it?
You could move here without provoking, or you could disengage and move wherever you wanted because you are a rogue. So.
Oh yeah, that's right. I could disengage.
You
and
could
just move
do
wherever the heck I
what
want.
we in the industry refer to as the stirred special.
Yeah. I'll do that then.
Which I hope is a bingo space. It should be.
In fact, I will do that. And could I move actually next to Simeon?
Yeah.
All right, I will do that here.
I think she actually has to hide. It's disengage and hide.
Yeah,
for
it's
bingo.
disengage hide.
Yeah. Well.
Hmm.
Okay. So
She hides in
it's
plain sight.
half the stirred special.
I could actually do that though.
It would take an action
mean,
to hide, though, and
It would
Oh,
take an
out
action
of
to hide.
actions. Okay, so you come over next to Simeon.
Yeah.
That orc looks a little bit worried now, as he probably should be. Okay, Lathion.
Okay, I was going to cast Burning Hands on these guys, but on Shae's orders, I
mean,
kind
you
of...
could still do that and then move.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't want you to, you know, give up on your dreams.
I really want to blast these guys. So.
Yeah, I know you do.
Oh, she'll also add, once across, cut the ropes.
Probably a good idea.
Give up on your dreams. Thank Orc. 13.
Oh my god, I keep... Oh, all right. Man. All right, well, you did damage them.
All right, no, that's good. Okay, they're a little singed.
Yep.
Okay,
And then you're gonna head onto the bridge.
Yeah, how far can I move?
I believe your speed is 30 feet, so you can move 6 spaces. And the bridge is currently under fire, so you need to make an acrobatics check to successfully navigate the bridge. So
Oh,
make an
dear.
acrobatics check.
Okay. Whoops, sorry. Did I do that twice again? I did. Well, the first one was 5, so...
Clarification. It's under fire from a bow, or it's under fire from someone just cast Burning Hands.
Either way.
I didn't aim that badly.
Just checking.
Okay, if the check fails by 5 or more, which it does, make a strength or dexterity saving throw, your choice.
Let's see, sorry, hitting buttons. Strength or dexterity, they're about, ooh, I'm gonna do dexterity, because my strength is -1. I'm like Artemisia, I have noodles. 16.
Okay, yeah, you kind of keep your balance on the bridge. You almost fell, but didn't quite. You can step onto the bridge, but you can't get any farther.
Okay.
Okay, it's the orc's turn. So, this orc doesn't really comprehend how screwed he is going to attack Shae, though.
All right.
He drops his bow, pulls out his axe, attacks Shae. And then it's not going to hit. These orcs are going to send arrows, one at Rhombus, one at Lathion. Rhombus 6, Lathion 20. Yeah, not a crit though. It's dirty 20. You take 8 points of piercing damage.
Ow.
I'm getting like
You are
the
target.
I really.
this game.
Did you steal Sturge's or Stong's shield?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, man, I am pincushion.
Right?
Okay.
Kind of cry out and glare at the offending orc.
Oh, I was going to mention that at the end of your, while you were still on your turn, you could have moved your spiritual weapon over to attack those orcs.
Oh well.
Let's just say you did that. Why not? You're
Okay.
new. It's fine. Okay. So the Sword of Coralon comes over your head toward those orcs. Go ahead and make that attack roll.
Okay, I just pressed spiritual weapon, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Sorry. All these buttons. Boop. Boop.
It's coming. There we go. Yeah, 14 is going to hit. 5 points of force damage. Okay. So you smacked that orc. Pretty good with the sword. Now they are trying to dodge out of the way of the sword, keep firing arrows. It's a chaotic battle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Lots going on.
Rhombus.
Okay, I will follow Shae's instructions and try to move along the bridge. That is a acrobatics check, you said?
Acrobatics check. Mhm.
Okay. 21.
All right. Yeah, you're able to move half your speed. So if your speed's normally 30, you can move 15 feet.
Okay, so that gets me to the end of the bridge.
Mhm.
And then I will cast Firebolt at this orc here. Since it looks like that's who we're going to have to go through. So
Yeah, it is through a partly closed. Oh, no, never mind. Never mind.
Nice.
Never you mind.
Remember that on the stream we do heavy crits. So what you do is just roll your damage, and then you're going to add your maximum dice as well. So that is
14
going to
damage.
be 14 damage.
That wasn't at 20 for anyone playing bingo.
Yep.
Oh, yes, it is.
Yeah, that orc is just blasted into pieces. Just one-shotted by that firebolt.
Nice.
Oh, and before I moved, I had to drop my rope rather than take the time to pull it back up.
Okay.
I can make a new one.
Yeah. All right.
Disposable
Anything
magic
else?
items.
Oh, such a wasteful.
Nope, that's my whole turn.
Okay. Simeon.
Simeon is going to go ahead and I'm trying to see if I have the try the firebolt again.
Okay.
Or not the firebolt, I mean the where is it?
Sacred Flame.
Sacred Flame, so I'm trying to say. Oh, I was looking on the first level. Never mind.
Just don't move.
Oh, this time the orc does not make the save. All right.
Good.
Yeah. 5 points of radiant damage, and you're still targeting this orc who's right next to you.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And by the way, this looks like molten gold pouring out of my hands.
Nice. Okay.
Oh, fun.
Yep. The orc is obviously very hurt. Anything else?
I'm gonna look to Shae and says, "What do we do?"
Hold on.
Okay. I will follow that instruction. And meanwhile, the spiritual weapon is going to go ahead and attack. Going to move forward 5 feet. Up. I haven't moved yet. I can't move him forward 5 feet.
Still out of
Darn it.
range.
Darn it. Okay, I will not do that then, and I will wait and see what Shae needs me to do.
Okay, Shae's turn.
I'm gonna grab the halfling and I'm gonna shadow dance across.
That was not what I expected you to do. No, it was totally what I expected.
That area is still bright light though.
Oh, it's bright light all the way over there.
Mm-hmm. I really should
Let's see.
have drawn where the light exists.
Cause, oh yeah. So it'd be in the. Well, nerds.
Simeon would never suggest this,
It's a
but
30-foot radius starting at the center of the bridge.
Simeon would never suggest,
yeah.
but you did jump down the cliff and be able to shadow dance back up. So,
I mean, do you want to go for that kind of
Simeon would not.
Actually, could I? Okay, so could I carry him while spider climbing?
He
Yeah.
only
how
weighs
small he
like
is?
40 pounds.
Yes, theoretically.
All right, I'm gonna grab him and run vertically down the cliffside.
Okay.
Whoa.
Like a spider.
Are you going to disengage so the orc doesn't attack you?
No, because that would use my cunning action, and I need it to shadow dance.
Okay, so the orc is going to attack. Oh, 23 is probably going to hit you.
That'll hit. I'll take it.
Yeah, 5 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
All right, you grab the little halfling and you just leap into. From Simeon's perspective, it's like she just grabbed you and just leapt to your doom.
Yes.
But instead, she's running down the side of the cliff wall, like something Sturge might do when he finally remembered that he had the slippers of spider climbing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when you get low enough, you plan to shadow dance. Okay. Well,
You've got me, but who's got you?
I picture Simeon just screaming the whole way down.
Yep.
we're a bit over on time at this point. So
Oh no.
I'm just gonna narrate a little bit. So it seems like you're going to push further into the stronghold rather than try and flee, right? Am I reading that correctly?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Shae manages to grab Simeon and pitter patter down and then shadow dance over to the other side, which is a bracing experience, Simeon.
Yeah. Never doing that again.
Lathian, covered by the sword, manages to fight through over on the bridge, joining up with Rhombus. The sword finally winks out of power just as you make your way through this door, closing yourself into the stronghold, and with the orcs pounding on the over the bridge and on the door to try and get to you. And you're now trapped in this stronghold, and that is all the time we have for tonight. So
But Shae kept us alive.
tune in the future to find out about the fate of the irregulars. Maybe we'll have to get you all together for a game again. We'll see what happens.
I'm up for
It's been fun.
In the meantime, I have been Eric Scott DeB, the DM of the Westgate Irregulars campaign and everything that spins off from it, such as this game. Thank you all for hanging out and watching the mod squad go through this gauntlet of doom. And thank you so much, everyone, for staying to play as well. It was so good to get to play with you all.
Yeah, thanks for this.
Just take a second to any parting words, and then we'll wrap up. So go ahead, Allie.
As ever, I've been Allie, Shae Darksong down in the chat. I forgot to mention earlier, I have been basically here since episode 1. So this is experience that working with the Dungeon Scrawlers means a lot to me, and I've really enjoyed it here. My short story will be coming out at some point in the future in Bridge to Elsewhere. It's called Silence in the Dark, and I hope people enjoy it.
Nice. Doug?
Okay, I'm Doug Meyer, Meyer Doug inside the chat. Meyer's Magical Market for those looking for any D&D type gear for your cosplay and such. And just a blast to have this kind of experience. Thanks.
Great. Kendra?
Hi, I'm Kendra. You can, again, find my books Rising Star and Falling Star on Amazon. This was a great opportunity. I really appreciate you guys putting up with all my noob mechanical questions. So yeah, Lothian is not happy about being trapped, so hopefully we get to do this again. Oh, and I'm Seldrine801 in Twitch.
Awesome.
Hello, everybody. I've been Joel Everett, and thanks for watching. And the adventure continues over on the Discord. So until next time, come hang out with us and talk about how the show went. Talk about what we did and how it went. And until next time, stay scrawly.